And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original Spanish anime, Seis Manos. Orphans raised by a martial arts master are plunged into a mystery involving demonic powers, drug cartels, ancient rituals, and blood sacrifice. So Seis Manos dropped today, and I knew it was coming, but I had no idea what it's about. It's 8 episodes, about 25 minutes long, and what I can say about this is, damn, I wanted more by the end of the last episode. This is everything I want from an original interesting kind of new anime idea. And when I say anime, normally you would think Japanese anime, but this is set in a village, and there is this whole kind of amalgamation or mix of cultures. So on one hand you've got some Spanish people, and you've got the mixture of cultures between martial arts masters and the cultures between what you see within like Mexico, and just these a kind of Western feel, as in actual cowboys western. You have guns and cartels and drug abuse and drug uses and magic, and there's just all of this kind of content that I would normally put in its own in an anime, but then to have this kung fu martial arts kind of thing that you would normally get from the great old films, not even anime, and you put those two together, and what it's created is something really quite fantastic. And the main story, you follow these orphans as they are trained by this martial arts master who likes to stroke his beard, and something happens right at the beginning of episode 1 that doesn't hold back at all in storyline. I have to say from the beginning as well, this isn't a kids anime. It's full on gory, and in fact, Netflix has classified it as an adult anime, so bear that in mind. There is dismemberment of bodies, and the martial arts is hard hitting. They don't hold back in the action sequences within that, and you get to see like people poking people's eyes out and ripping arms off. And when they're using magic and people are deformed in kind of demonic forms, the way they fight and what they do is quite grotesque. And also at the same time, there are really dark genres. They don't hold back in the killing. I think I remember people saying that one of the highest killing films you will ever likely to see is RoboCop. I do wonder how many people actually died in this anime. You could do like a count and it'd just be going up, because there's a lot of death in this. I have to say though, this was really fresh, and it really worked. The animation itself reminded me of things like Legend of Aang, the Airbender, and if you remember Jackie Chan Adventures, it's that kind of thing, but more adult. And I think it really works because you have this amalgamation and a mash of cultures. So on the one hand, for those that love kung fu, they really go into the kind of the different styles, and each of the students, there's kind of drunken style, there's I guess tiger or spitting cobra. I'm not a martial arts master, so I don't know, but I think that's what it was. So that you get these different kung fu styles, and I used to love watching those as a child. Even the formula of how they created this anime also harks back to the original old classic kung fu films. They have the kind of the reel that burns out occasionally, because obviously the old films were filmed on film, and so you have this static and the lines and the scraping because of the reel would be slightly burnt out. Even the way they do cut scenes or memory scenes, they kind of cut because you've lost some frames, and that's so clever, and it really works. I love the creativity here, the being brave with something new, the way you're telling the story. The main bad guy is voiced by Danny Trejo, well, one of the main bad guy, and his voice is really deep and gruff. He really carries himself on screen through his voice, and so you have this bad guy that they've really built on his character. And I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but you feel for the bad guy, kind of. You understand towards the end. It's not just your generic bad guy. I kill bad guys because, or I kill people because I am a bad guy. The story very quickly develops the arcs between all the characters on both sides. And so by the time you get to the end, you understand, maybe not feel for the bad guy, but you understand why he was doing what he wanted because of kind of his upbringing. And that could be said for the same with the orphans. There is this one character who because of his backstory and what has happened to him, he can't speak. And I'm not going to go into why, but there are moments when he's in emotional turmoil and he screams to the heavens, but he can't scream because he can't actually talk. And it was such a powerful, emotional moment. And I thought, wow, that's pretty deep for this anime. And I have to say, in amongst the action sequences of this anime, there's some great character moments. And then there are some really creepy character moments. I don't think it's the best animation I've ever seen, but it was good. And I think that's mostly because the story was so interesting and fresh to watch. I can't wait for the next series. My only negativity really about this series is that it's too short. I want more. I mean, that's a good thing. It leaves you wanting more. I really thoroughly enjoyed every episode, and I love the way it didn't hold back on kind of a big arc story plot, because sometimes these anime, they take 50 or 100 episodes to really kind of get going into their arcs. Here, even within the 8 episodes, I feel like I know so much about the world, about what's going on, and yet at the end of episode 8, it leaves you with so many more questions, which is really great writing. So you have this kind of completion arc, there is a culmination to the story, and it goes full circle, and it's written well, it's edited well. The action sequences are fantastic. They're hard-hitting when they need to be. They develop their characters when they need to, but then at the end you have those emotional moments with the character arcs, and it leaves you wanting so much more, and you're kind of like, I want more now. This is one of my favorite anime. I'm going to watch it again from beginning pretty soon. Hopefully I can watch it with my eldest son and see what he thinks. Maybe I just thought this was great. It really kind of ticked all my switches of things that I want. Great characters, great development of story, excellent story. Animation was really fun to watch. And a strokey beard guy, because who doesn't want that with 4 Kung Fu masters? One of the very cool things is that I didn't guess where the story was going all the time. There were kind of some of the tropes that you get within this type of anime and story, but there were moments where I was like, wow, I didn't guess where that was going. And I love that. When an animation or a story can keep it fresh enough for me to not guess where it's going, I think that's pretty cool, because I've seen so much, I've reviewed so much, probably too much. And if a story can still take me by surprise, I think we've gotten something pretty special here. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this anime. Have you seen it? Have you heard about it? It was something that I had to hunt for on Netflix. They didn't advertise it. It wasn't on my front page, which is weird because I watch a lot of anime. So I was surprised that they're not kind of pushing this. I hopefully will see more of this. Hopefully as people start reviewing it, it'll get more hype and we'll get that second season, because it'll be a real shame if they leave it like this. Fingers crossed for a second season, but chat to me in the comments below. Get down below and let me know whether you've enjoyed it as much as I do. I'm going to give this an A because I think it's really solid. Thanks so much for watching this review. Hopefully you found it informative and you felt my passion and excitement about this anime. I can't wait to chat to you guys about it and see what you thought about it. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.